All right, let's get started. Welcome, welcome. I can't tell if the sound is working. It should be. Yep, there goes. Socks is in the way. And here she is. She's like, sup? I've got to make sure I don't have any documentation showing anything on my desk. All right. Wow, that sound is a bit loud for me. I'm just going to turn that down on my side. Oh, she's gone off to her bed. We'll just go, oh, and then she's like, oh, I'm going back here, all right. And then I'm like, oh, and now she sits. All right, cool. Hopefully everyone's going well. I won't be able to see half my screen. Socks is in the way, and I'm getting this bloody bug again. Yeah. All right. So what I want to do today is I want to get this sort of done. Now, I'm kind of got it, but there's a little flash of test in there. Now, that's going to be perfectly fine. What I've done is I've just gone into here. I've done a next tick to see if that will work. And hey, that has worked. And if I get rid of all of that and go new group model.value equals nothing again, we wait for the page to do its thing, and then we click on that, and that's where it's doing that. So the idea here is, yes, we do need a next tick, but there is a little bit of a flash moment in here, like so. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of that. I don't know if you guys can see that little flash. It does happen pretty quickly. So I'm going to get rid of it so it appears permanently there. Now, one way we could get away with this is we just change the color of the font. I was overcomplicating it last time, thinking I had to do a bunch of stuff, but no. The idea here is this is only going to show for a little bit. This is all going to run, and then there's going to be another computed method which then gets rid of that whole entire thing, and we're all going to be happy. But in the case that someone does select it, we might want to be able to change those colors. So in the add object, what we can actually do is we have the stuff down here. We just need to get the proper colors. Alternatively, I can try and see if there's any CSS. All right, are you going to come over here, or am I going to move the camera over there and you're just going to move when I move it over? All right, there you go. People want to watch you, Socks. You've got to entertain everyone. All right, CSS, font, alpha. All right. So we also got the alpha. Which, hey, we can play around with. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select this select in here, and I'm just going to go, oh, realize Socks has moved all the way over here. Font color. No, it's just going to be color. It's all right, my bad. As you can see, it's changing like there's no tomorrow. Cool. And I think we just need to do that. And that's it. Because I don't care about the selected stuff. That's it. We just keep it simple. That's it. Alpha. 0. It sees through. Everyone's happy. I'm happy. Socks, are you happy? You're probably not, because you've not gotten any treats yet. Okay, that's it. So now we can click on this and we can handle everything that we want. As for removing the option, we do actually want to do that, but after a next tick. And then we also want to remove everything else. So let's get started with actually sending it to the backend. At the moment, it is going to throw up an error. We've got a couple of things that we need to do. Let's bring out our Excel drawer. Let's plug my tablet in and see what I need to do. So we've got a couple of problems. So problem. It's my handwriting. So, one, we need group data. So when this page loads in, we need to actually get that data somehow in here. Currently, if we go to, let's say, our localhost API version 1 project, let's say 1, 17, we don't need to translate that. You can see that we've got the organization, we've got the statuses and all that kind of fun stuff in there. That's perfect. But we don't actually have what groups are actually assigned to this. Now, what we could do is we could actually have the groups that this particular project is assigned to, and then a potential group list and so forth like that, which is what we currently do in NearBeach. So whenever I visit a project, it will fetch that information and it comes back with potential groups and so forth like that. In this sort of case, we don't want to fetch a complete list of users. Obvious reasons why. But we do want a somewhat list of all groups and so forth like that. Now, what I could do, I'm getting trapped on this tablet. I'm going to bring over this. Now, I just saw some console logs. Ooh. All right, I'm going to have to fix that next. I'm going to have to also get rid of a lot of console logs. Socks, stay. No, stay. Chosen to sit over here. Stay. All right, I'm just going to get rid of all these console logs. Oh, those ones we kind of need. All right, those temporary error ones we'll keep in. And hi, Mohammed, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. So hopefully I get rid of all of these console logs, but we got unhandled error during event. I'm just going to hit refresh. Going to see when that's happening. Downloadable font name, name records are not sorted. I'll have to fix that one. Socks. People see you, not me. Now, what did I do? I went to not documentation. I went up here and I clicked on this and then I changed it to test. All right, cool. So those errors were nothing to do with my current build. All right. So hang on. Now that has just appeared after the fact. Oh, but that was because I scrolled down. Yeah, all right. Element show picker call was blocked due to lack of. All right. When I go away and come back. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get really angry at this again. Clearly, if I can search, no, fuck off. I can. Anyway, method after set time, then promise. Yeah, all right, cool. I know when this actually happens. I want to. Make that actually happens down here. So it's on this focus event. Now the thing is, when I go away from the page and then come back, that's when it's throwing up the error, and that's because there's no user input here. So what I kind of want to do, JavaScript check for user activation. For the navigator.userAction object. All right, cool. Let's just do a console.log user activation navigator.user activation. Right. I'm just seeing what this does. We've just come across this error, so I'm just going to hit reload. Everything's fine. I do need to fix that font thingy. I think it's just because I don't have that font. Oh no, I do. All right, I don't know why that's coming up. Now, when I click on the user group, it pops up, user activate has been activated, true and true. All right, cool. Now, if I move away from a tab, move it back, false. So what I'm going to do to stop this from actually happening is we're going to go, all right, cool. User activation, let's go double check that. So I just need to write in here, check for user activation if, yeah, it's just that. So if navigator.userActivation dot is active, nothing to show the picker. That's it. That should be it. So if we go back here, I'm just gonna hit refresh. We're gonna replicate that again. So I'm just gonna click on that. All right, click on that. Yep, it pops up and down. You guys just have to believe me. When I come back, cool, no issues anymore. There's that bug gone. All right, so what was I doing? Ah, yes, I was going to show you something very, very quickly. We're going to go in here. We're going to go into object metadata. So object metadata contains statuses, types, tags, status. This is used to sort of help render stuff out, like options and so forth like that. So what I want to actually do is, when this data is actually set down, cheeky. When this data is actually set, we'll need to also include the groups in here. We might also include the groups within the object too. So we might actually put the group data in here also. I think that would be a great idea. That way, if someone's actually accessing the API, they can see what other groups are actually assigned to it and then handle it accordingly. There will be an endpoint specifically just for group listing and so forth like that. So with this, we're going to have object metadata. Now, if I get rid of this, let's reload the page. We've got initial data, which you'll see we've got the object status, object types, we've got tags. We're going to also put groups in here. Hopefully, there are too many groups. There can be a lot of groups depending how big the organization is, in which case this initial data will get larger and larger and larger. However, that being said, it should only, yeah, at the moment it's 4.4 kilobytes. It's not very big. It's very tiny. Yeah, let's go into this. So I'm going to close all this. We're going to have to deal with the API first before I, start doing everything. What we want to do is we want to go into the views. We're going to go into the API. We then want to go. Now, it's not part of project, not part of that. It's part of one of these. Not authentication, not available data. I've forgotten where it is. So we are going to the URLs. Now we've got a public and an internal. I think it's an internal. Initialize data. So user initialize view. Yeah, okay, cool. So here it is. Easy done. We don't need to worry about those. Those are just internal sort of stuff. So we've got a get. All right, cool. This is a simple get. So this will be user results, all of this. Then user to, we just need groups in here. And we're going to do it like that. So this is a very, very structured sort of pattern. This will go all the way up to the top. We'll go at static method to start off with. I don't think we'll need anything. We'll have get groups. All right, cool. This is going to be method to get all current groups. I'm also thinking we might also state user groups. So what groups the user has access to. Which will give us the ability to sort of quickly notify the user which groups they'll need to actually put in. So yeah, we'll do this at the same time. So we'll just go, in this sort of case, this should be just a simple return. This would be group.objects.filter is deleted equals false. That's obvious. It's all groups that we want. So yeah, we won't need all of this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference the serializers. So we've got a group serializer in here. In here, we've got ID, name, and parent group. That's essentially what we need. All right, we just need to import this. I need to actually do that specifically. Where's... I've just spotted this. I'm doing good, Gante. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I'm going to put this in alphabetical order in a moment. Believe it or not, item goes before that. List of... There you go. I just like things in alphabetical order. Makes it easier for me to find. So we've got the group. It should be that. Now, I'm just a bit concerned about that one particular field. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click in this. It is called parent group. Great. I'm just double checking. And that should be it. So if we go here, let's just hit reload. Oh, we're not being able to reconnect. It is redoing its thing. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, we've got one thing. All right. Don't sit on the keyboard. Cheeky. Socks. She loves sitting on the keyboard. So we're just returning all of this. I should order by also. It's an easy one to order by. Alright, there goes socks. If you look very nicely, someone on Twitch might give you a treat. So, it's not serializing because we haven't actually done the serializer. We're going to actually now implement this. So we're just going to jump into here. It's as simple as pretty much copying what we've done for the other one. So we're just going to go groups equals group serializer. We're just going to go many equals true, read only equals true, allow null equals true. The same basic sort of stuff. I'm just going to hit refresh. Now it is direct assignment to the forward side of many for many is prohibited. Use group.set instead. Only equals true. Read only equals true. Allowed null. This is what everything else is doing. And we should be copying what the get tags has done. So return tag for filter order by. I'll tell you why. Because I've just got the values in here. I don't need those. I can go. This is the data. The serializer will actually handle it. Still not liking it. You okay there, socks? You're like, don't know where you want to go. People want to see you. Good girl. All right, so we've got groups. And then if I go into here, we've got groups. Use groups.set. All right. So we're having a problem down here. I don't know why, because they're all like that. So this is creating it up here. User results, pulls out the user, does all this, bad requests, user results, yep. First result. And then it sets it like all of that. If I just bump that out just for a second, I'm just going to hit reload. It's groups. All right. Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna cancel that one out for the moment. I'm gonna try and get everything working again and then do one thing at a time. All right, it is working. Groups isn't in there, it's empty. That's perfectly fine. What I'm going to do I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to hope for the best. It doesn't like groups. All right. Let's have a look why. So we've got group serializer. We go into the group serializer. We've got all of that. It's part of the model group. This should work. So why not? Get tags is just that. Reality. That's like that. Yeah, direct assignment. All right, I'm gonna have to Google this. Django occurs because you cannot directly assign a value or list to a many-to-many field during an object initialization through the standard attribute assignment. Oh, all right. Something has a many-to-many. That doesn't. Many equals true. Yeah. Parent group equals parent group local serializer. ID name. Read only. Alright. Something's wrong with the group. Okay. We're slowly getting there. Oh, where's my there we go. Just read the error. Raise handle. Yeah, it doesn't like this. Response handler. That's not part of me. That's not part of this. That's not my code. That's not my code. That's not my code. That's not my code. That's not code. That's not my code. All right. It doesn't like groups. Which just make me internally scream. All right. Wait. Use object correct alert John Doe. Use it my groups set. All right, let's try it. Sorry, I was meant to actually go on this side. And it'll be set, and then we'll do something like that. And then we'll just delete all that, and then we'll just do that, something like that. And it's throwing up an issue. It needs a... Cool. Now, will this throw up issues? Most likely. I'm going to give it a shot. Yes. Field ID is expected a number, but got group administrator. Oh, piss off. You fucking silly twat. Oh my god. can't win sometimes. The problem is that's an object that should be serialized into there. I'm just like, hang on. Hear me out. Hear me out. All right. I think I know what the problem is. I think the word groups is already defined. I can't use it. So I'm just going to do that. And cheers, Mohammed. Yeah, in this sort of case, I think the words groups is reserved for something else, which is what's causing the problem. And I think I just went through a red herring. But yeah, that should do it. We'll have the order by name up here. I should say get all groups up here, because that's what we're getting. And I should get the user groups too. Like so. This one will be very quick and easy to make. We've also got to realize that we've got to do it on this too. So many equals true, read only, allow null, easy done. Oh, chat just disconnected. All right, that was a bit weird. Hopefully I'm not having internet problems. It doesn't look like I am. All right, get back to this. Yeah, that one, that's set there. And then I just need to go up here. It's almost like this. User groups. It's pretty much this. Oh, wait, the user's already got the groups. No, we don't need this. We don't need this. Sorry, I'm over complicating stuff. Thinking I need something when I don't need something. All right, just hitting the reload button a bit. There we go. We've got the initial data. We don't have groups. I meant to put all groups. Give me 2 seconds. That's a simple blunder by my on my behalf. So that groups will be up here now, going all groups, and it should fill out. Yes, we need to do a couple of changes like that. There we go, initial data. So we've got all the user data, and then we've got all the groups. So these are all the groups within our instance of NearBeach, which is the dev environment at the moment. So you got admin, empty group, and so forth like that. So from this, what that means is if we go into project, let's just pick this project. This drop down now, this little add group thing, we can actually fill out. And what I mean by that is we can fill it out with that group information. Don't need to worry about the parent group or anything like that, but that's fine. So we've got that. I'm also double checking what other bits of data we currently have if I need to collect any more. So if I go into here, we should have user. It's cool. That's the basic sort of user stuff. We've got object stuff. I realized with this, we've got permissions. which already has what groups the user are in, which I do believe user groups. We automatically set this information up in here. So yeah, that's perfectly great. And hi Dab, how are you? All right, give Socks treats. Yes, she does want treats. I will give that right now. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just move this camera back down here. We'll just do it like that. There she is. She knows exactly what's happening. She's like, oh yeah, treats. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the secrets. Whoops, wrong button press. Hey, you bed. Good. And how are you, Deb? Dabshi? Hopefully going well. For those on YouTube wondering what's happening, on Twitch we've got viewer rewards, and someone has decided to use them to feed Socks some treats. There we go. She's extra fluffy at the moment. So she's very fluffy. All right, so the camera's here. There we go. All right, we'll try and get a really good camera. There we go. Oh, right, she looked away. All right, give me 2 seconds. I've got to tilt the lens. There we go. You get to see some of my stage lights. So yeah. All right, let's get back into it. I've lost where I was. Oh yes, we've got the user group sets all figured out. I don't need that data. Sweet. So what I want to do is when someone clicks on this, let's just put all groups in there for the moment. Oh, so stop moving away from the camera. There we go. Hopefully that's, yeah, that's good enough. We're going to render those in there. But to do that, what I need to do is the data we get, we need to put this somewhere in the store. And like I was alluding to, we're going to put in object metadata. That's the sort of best place to put it. So I want to go source, I want to go stores, I want to go object metadata. We're just opening up object metadata. And I'm just going to put in here, you're going all good, final steps to the project, nice. Adding analytics, nice. For growth metrics, then launch. Oh, congratulations, that's awesome news. I'm just going to put all groups in here. And then we need to do it as... Oh, how am I... Do I have a group interface? I don't think I have a group interface yet. No, I don't. Sorry, I'm just going to have a look at the network. ID name and parent group. We actually want this as part of TS. No, I don't. All right. So I'm just going to go into here and I'm going to go group interface.ts. Then I'm racking my brain how yeah, we just do something like this. All right, cool. And then we're just going to paste it in, and then we're just going to go group interface. It will be, oops, ID, number, name, string, And then with the parent group, we don't have any parent groups in there. Don't know if we can self-referential like that. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. One way which I could potentially do is I can have a look in the group serializer. We've got the parent group serializer, and that's ID and name. I might do that instead. Actually, you know what's going to be easier? If I just copy this, paste it in, and it in, I remove that, and then I go parent group interface. Then just copy that. Go over here, and then I just paste it in. And that way, I know I'm not going to have any problems whatsoever. And it's just going to work. So in here, what we want to do, all groups as group interface, and then we just put the little square brackets at the end to state, hey, this is actually going to be an array, and then we import the data, and we're like, all right, cool. Well, we import that type, and we're all happy. So I'm going to close this. I'm happy with this now. I'm going to close all tabs because I just need to focus for a little bit. And we're looking for user initialized data, user initialized data. We just want to go in this project. We don't. Actually, this is in the router. This actually, that was a fluke that I found that so easily. So response to all right, cool. And that should be it. Not quite. All right. Response from that, yada yada. Throw response and then result. Object metadata patch. All right, cool, cool, cool. Now this is not going to throw up an issue. Oh, cool. So it reloads. We're just going to click on this. We're going to hit object, and there's all of our groups. All right, sweet. This is awesome. Now in the store itself, so I'm just going to close that. I'm happy with, happy with that. We want to go back into the stores object meta thing in here. We can. Now the thing is, I don't have. It's a bit different. I'm just having a think how I'm going to do this. Because there are some groups in here that I want to remove, depending on the object. So, for example, if we're on a project and administration has already been added to it, I don't need that in the list of drop-downs. And I'm just wondering if I could essentially remove it. Whether I can do it at the view component level or up at the store level. Part of me is saying do it at the store level, makes it a lot easier. All the business logic for that would be in one location. And we can call it available. So we can go getters. We can call it available groups to add. And this is where I need to look at the Pinia documentation. So these are the equivalent of a computed value. So they don't change until something changes within that sort of logic. So getters, oh yeah, we set it up like this. Like that. All right. In this sort of case, I'm just returning something like that. It's pretty simple. And what I'm thinking of is how I can do this in an efficient way. And I'm just gonna show you where this data lives and everything like that. So we're currently on project details. So if we go into the object itself, you should see in here a group list. At the moment, there is nothing in there. I need to change that in a minute. That is a bug. That shouldn't be happening like that. We should be actually adding in a project. We should be adding in something in here. Anyway. We need to grab what's in that group list and remove it from the other thing. And what I could do is on the object is I can grab all the IDs and just the IDs. Then I should be able to filter it out if it's in there. But there might be a better way of doing stuff. So, because you're just getting up your step count by walking back and forth. Yeah, that's how I do it. All right, JavaScript, remove objects from array. So we got that. Yeah. I just want to remove, if we were doing it like this, let's say I've got all groups. I'm going to do a thicker line. I think I'm zoomed out or something. So we've got all groups. And we've got assigned groups. We want this data. Types. I'm just gonna give me 2 seconds. I just want to bring up the. It should be. Exclusion joins. Socks. Come on. Don't want inner join. We want left outer join. Something like this. Yeah, like this. Trick from the left array, matching the object to the right array, based on the strategy. Alright. Optimized approach, choosing map. So left and right. Right map equals map. Right, map.object, object, left outer join. Index the right array by its join key, map through the left array and merge. So, but I want to... So Alice doesn't belong in there, Bob doesn't belong in there, Charlie doesn't belong in there. All right, cool. Yep. All right, fine. It's highly scannable and doesn't require an extra step. All right. Does that work? And now I've got to remember where I put this thing. Object component. This will be access. Actually, give me 2 seconds. This will be part of the prefab. And what I'm going to do and then I'm just going to console log left outer join. I'm going to see if this works. And what also I'm going to do is I'm going to copy admin into there, do all that kind of stuff. We're just going to play around with this to see if this actually does anything. So I'm going to hit refresh. We've got our console. We're all happy with that. So if I touch this, we've got the left outer join now. And no, it doesn't freaking work because admin should be dropped out. Yeah, I thought so. All right. No, right. This is why we do temp code. Don't always trust the AI. Remember, it's a tool, not a crutch. Perform .join values on array of objects. I don't want to. I want to do outer joins. I'll tell you what. We're having a look at this prototype. Because I've used the sum before. Oh, I don't want to use that. Ew. Wait, piss off. Object alert. All right, cool. All right. So we've got state, which is this state. I don't know. So we've only got access to stuff in this state. And I'm just trying to remember how we access stuff from the other states and so forth like that. So if we scroll down, it'll be the object. So it'll be like the object state. And this is where I need to do some PNR, use other states in getter. All right, cool. Let's getters. That's actually accessing it like that. All right, cool. Getters, discount state. All right, cool. State, yep, use store. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just got to do that. That's fine. So what I want to do is, with the object, I want to scroll all the way down. Now, there's one or two ways we could do this. We can just import stuff. We've got the group list, and now that should be as group interface is done. And like that. We should. Oh, fuck off. Excuse my French. Should import that. What we could do is we could just pass through the ID. All right, we can go getters. It'll be something like this. And we could just call it that. And then we just go that. So we don't need to send out the whole entire data. I think shrinking it in this sort of case and just getting an array of IDs would be a lot better rather than a whole entire thing. I need to test this though. So let's just do that right now. Let's just jump over here. Let's go into the console. Let's just, console, fuck off, thank you. Var A equals, got an array. I'm just gonna go ID2, ID3, ID4. I'm not going to worry about anything else. I just want to quickly test this. Now, I don't need to return when I don't have anything like that. So yeah, it comes back like that. Now, if I change these, and let's say I've got a name. Like so. I did the same thing. Yeah, perfect. Easy done. So that will be perfect. That way it's just an array of numbers. That should make this a lot easier. So we should say in here, object store equals, now that will be a const. Use object store. Cool. Done. We'll also have const exclude IDs equals object store dot fetch array of group IDs. Like so. Now I'm doing it like this so it only gets called once. That way this is just a simple number and so forth like that. Then in here what we could do, we can return the state dot all groups dot filter is where we use our row and we go return. And we just go exclude IDs dot sum, and we just go row.id. This is where I need to go b.sum, and if I go 5, I'm probably screwing up. Okay. All right, that's what we need. Send back a list of groups that are not in the exclude ID list. Easy done. All right. So that's about it. Fetch all group IDs for current object. Now, in some cases, we've got to do null checks and stuff like that. So in the case that this is null, that's going to work perfectly fine. That should actually send back an empty array, because the state of groups will always be, yeah, that. All right, so what do I want to do now? This is all done. We want to go back down to the add object. It isn't in the add object that I want to actually implement this in. In here, I need to, on focus is fine. I think this is all fine. We need to pass through the values and stuff in here now. So what I need to do, so I need to go options, type, array. Oh, this is where I gotta go. Sorry, this is gotta be view must, and it's that array space as prop type. I'm mucking up completely, so I'm just going to copy this one line and I'm just going to paste it in here and just be like, yep, that's it, I'm done. We've got and hi, Gen Z Coder Shorts. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Now the value, I'm going to make a string or a number. I'm happy either way. required is always going to be true, as we need this data no matter what. So going down here, we just need to now change this. This is just going to be option V4. I just keep doing spelling mistakes and miss key hits and fat fingering and all that kind of stuff. So V4 option in options. And then we're going to go with the key equals option dot value. Cool. And then we need to go value equals option dot value. And then we just do something like this. And then we just go like this, and we go option.label. And that's it. This is very simple. This is very daft. We don't need to worry about disabling stuff. We don't need to worry about this or that, because we're going to filter out everything we don't need in this list in the parent who calls this. This is just a simple rendering sort of thing. I'm going to remove that. I no longer need. I don't need that anymore. This is looking fine. We can go back over to NearBeach. Now it's going to throw up issues because we haven't added in any of those options or anything like that. And I know that. We're going to do that right now. So we're going to go scrolling down to our source, wherever I put it. I put it somewhere. It's in here somewhere. We're going to, open up this. We're going to open up access. We're going to open up group access, because we're going to deal with the group access first. So with the group access, now I'm still going to need next tick down here to do a bunch of stuff. That's going to be perfectly fine, but we need to actually define our stores. So I like putting the stores after the props. So const, this will be the object metadata store equals object use object metadata store. He's done. You see where the name comes from. It's essentially this without the use. Object metadata store. Yep, perfect. So we just scroll all the way down into this add object. We've got the group here. We've got the object type, which we're no longer doing. So we're just going to remove that. Up here, what we're going to do, we've got to vbind the options equals, and this will be the object metadata store dot. This is where I forgot the name. Available groups to add. Have I done a spelling mistake? Most likely. All right. And just because I know I do more than one spelling mistake in a second, I'm just going to copy and paste that and copy and then paste it down here. And that's it. Oh, yeah. It wants it in this sort of format down here. Which makes sense. Now, in reality, we could copy what I've done elsewhere when we've got the ability to have different field names and so forth like that. And knowing this particular drop-down box, this particular drop-down will be utilizing in multiple different areas. I've just forgotten how I've done that for TypeScript, and I'm trying to rack my brain for that information. Because I would rather program that in, because then I can be like, use this, which will be quick and easy to do. And I think I've done it for Welk, so give me 2 seconds. I'm opening up WebStorm. We're moving WebStorm over here. We're just going to close what we don't need. We're going to minimize everything. We're going to open up Welk. We're going to go source, components. We'll have the select. I've got the Welk select. So with the Welk select, if we scroll up, we've got options. And we're using this select options interface. So disabled, opt group, keystring unknown. I think that's it. And then I've got the options label and options value. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that over. We're going to add it into this now. So we're going to get rid of this. I'm going to paste it in. We're getting rid of this, but what we're going to do is we're going to screw up this slightly and do it like that. All right, cool. So I don't need the disabled or the opt group. Once again, this is very, very simple. We just need this. So we'll have a key and we'll have a value on it, and we just don't know. Now we've got the options label and we've got the options value. They're not required, but we've got label and value in there. That does mean that this down here does change a lot. So that's no longer like that. So if we actually have a look at the Welk select, we can actually scroll all the way down to the options section. Passes everything through. We've got the select render option. Sorry, I had to go all the way down. We can essentially just copy this. That's it. That's what we need. We'll just paste it. Now, there's a few things. We'll get rid of this. We might need to get keys. So we copy this. Like that. I'm just going to format everything. That should render correctly now. If we go to the group access, we've got the options. Now I've just got to add in the other things stating, hey, listen, these are the fields you're actually looking for. So if I move this off to the left and I go in here and I do this and I just go into Pinear and I go object metadata and I'm like, all right, let's have a look at the groups, all groups itself. We can see that we'll have the value as ID and then name as the label. So we'll have in here options label is going to be name. Is going to be ID. All right. So that should feed into my system to be like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. However, we get an issue. Get keys is not a function. Oh, piss. Yeah, I thought so. Missing required prop options and options. All right, that's for the other ones. I'm not going to worry about them just yet because we're just done the group and there it is. This is perfect. And when we click on administration, that's when we're going to handle it and send it off to the backend to be like, hey, add this group. We're going to do that now, but I just want to check one thing. If I go into number 1, we should be seeing, we're not seeing less. That's the problem. I might not be getting that information. In which case, I need to fix up something first. So if we move this to the left, this is the joys about programming sometimes. Sometimes you just got to juggle everything. So with the object, I need the groups in here. It's not getting the group list. So if I go to the network tab and I click on this particular one here, we're not getting groups in here. See, nothing, absolutely nothing, which is not what we want. We actually want the groups in there. So I'm gonna need to go back into here. I need to go into NearBeach. I need to open up the Views API project. This is just the simple get. So not the create, not the destroy, not linked list. Holy hell, I got a lot in here. Sorry. Once again, these will... There's a reason why there's a lot of code in here. So we don't want create, we don't want destroy, don't want documentation, don't want documentation create, don't want documentation delete, don't want that one. We don't want the link list. We don't want the list. Don't want the notes. Partial update, we don't want. Retrieve. Yeah, this is the one we want. So, project serializer. Yeah, we don't have groups in here. Oh, we've got group list. But I don't see it here. I do need that data. That's the thing. I need that data. Alright, so we've got group list in here. Now, this is based off a couple of other ones in here. I'm just making sure that when we get the fields, patch, we pop it out. That's fine. Create, we do something. So it is in there. There it is. It's write only true. So if we get, we actually change that. All right, cool. So I'm just not filling out group list. We can quickly solve this. Very, very quickly. So what I want to do, famous last words, I say that and then I probably don't solve it quick enough. Oh, we got group list. Simple typo. So I've changed all the field names and stuff like that. That had group ID. So I asked people, what do they prefer? Do they prefer having the table name in there or the ID? Everyone voted for just have ID. That's the problem. I just had group ID when it should just be ID. Easy mistake. So if I go refresh, nothing works. If I go refresh, I go into the view. Once again, nothing works, like usual. Holy hell, yeah, it's just crashed. Come on, buddy, come on. I'll just go to the network. We've got this. We still don't have group data in here. This is a bit of a concern. No, we don't have group lists whatsoever in here. So I'm going to have a look at the serializer. So that's with the create, with the get fields. That's only to patch. So if I refresh, we should hit this, should skip, and then the fields, ID, title, description, org, status, priority, start date, end date, group list. Do we just not have any data? We should have data. Unless I've mucked up somewhere else. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little thing there. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're just hitting this. All right, project group list results. It's an empty query set. And what I'm going to do, sometimes you just gotta plug these in to find out if temp's correct. That's all we're doing. So we should see IDs. Hang on. Oh no, group ID there. That one's fine. And then the ID. And then, yeah, it must be group ID there. I think I got that wrong then. All right, I'm just going to hit play. Everything's going to run through. We're going to hit that temp file in a second. So with the temp, we've now got group ID 1. Because, yeah, we should always be assigned to one group. Yeah, but it's not appearing in here. So when this happens, what you do is you grab the full thing, paste it in. I'm going to start removing stuff. You know, that should be fine. There we go. All groups. Oops. All right. So we've hit this. And that's coming through correctly. And all I've done is I've removed the is deleted equals false. Have I accidentally put that group as deleted? That would be embarrassing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste that in. We're going to hit this reload again. We've hit this. No? All right, the next thing I've got to do double check that I haven't done anything silly. Yeah, all of that's correct. And no group lists here. Where the hell am I removing group lists from? If I go into here, I'm not removing it whatsoever in here. The patch will pop it out, but that should be fine. If I go into a group list here, we've got another serializer in here. If I hit refresh, I should hit this. Ah, sorry, I can get rid of that. I'm not hitting this. Is it because of that? Just checking one thing. I think it's because of that. There we go. But we've only got the number 1 now, which is not what we want. We actually want this to be properly set up. Which gets really annoying now. Yeah, we're not hitting this. Which is a bit of concern because this now does something different. It does a group serializer. I might need to see where we're actually utilizing this. So we've got it in the base, serializers, all that kind of stuff. We've got all the tests with the check group list, yada yada yada. Project results at group list equals. This is all. Because this could ruin the CRUD if we've got like group list. Yeah, all right. And we're definitely not hitting this, which means that's not working. Which, another way to get around this is we could copy this, go back up into here. We've got this in here like that with a patch. We just paste this in like this. We go group serializer, cool. We just import that and we do an override at this level. This should work. So if I hit refresh, We're now here with the get, and we're like, all right, cool. This is what the fields are going to be, and we just return that. In which case, then I get group list in the proper object format, which is what I want. All right, that's annoying as hell. I didn't realize this isn't run at this level, but yeah, it should be doing it there, but it isn't. All right, no problem. We fixed it. All right, so now we've got data in here coming through. Now, if I go to the view, oh, it's crashed again. Fucking better. All right. Sorry. If we got the object now, got a group list of nothing, but that's fine. It's because I need to go to project 17. Boom, group list. Yeah. Which means I have no real console issues at the moment. If I click on this, boom, yeah, admin's gone, because that's in part of the list. All right, and then I can do this group access thing very, very quickly and have admin showing there and stuff like that. All right, cool. So what we want to do is we want to fix this all up very, very quickly. So I've got that passing down. I'm happy with that. We've got this working great. I'm very happy with that. The group access itself. This is where... oh yeah, I've got to add the group stuff. That will happen in a bit. Hang on. Ooh, why am I... Yeah, I've got to do the group stuff upstream. However, that being said... Sorry, I'm just having a big yawn. I'm also got to think about this. Group access and all that kind of fun stuff. Where to store some data. But now that we've done this, I'm going to get the group access working properly. I also should fix it so this is not so lined up. Should get this oh yeah, I should. So I'm just juggling so many things at the moment. All right, so class properties, properties component, and then that's what I want. Properties component, padding. I just don't have margin at the bottom. Am I dealing with small screen? Yes, I am. Give me a couple of seconds. I've just got to make this responsive. I better do it now whilst I'm concentrating on it. So the properties does have something small. That's still working. Yeah, it's after that. Alright, so if I go margin bottom here and I just go 0.5 rem, I'm just going to see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty respectable. But if I go into here, yeah, that's pretty respectable. Alright, cool. That's all I wanted to do. And then I'll do the same with the group access now. Ta-da. Alright. Sorry, that's just to separate all of those. Now, let's render out the stuff. So, making sure that is greater than that. Remove all that. So, yeah, once someone does that, it'll start doing that, and then they'll be able to add stuff back in. And because this will contain all of our information, I can just send that up into where I need it to go. All right, cool. All right, so this is no longer going to happen. I don't think we'll have props. Bear with me. Everything's going to get really crazy soon. Remove group. I still want to... I'm thinking just for a second. I've got to think about the remove group. I'll probably talk about it a lot in a bit. But first, let's fix up all of this in our store. So if I go to the view stuff, and we've got the object itself, and then inside the object, we've got the group list. That's what we want. So we need to actually pull down the store in here, which object meta store will have object that, use that. All right, cool. So down here, instead of all of this, this then becomes object store dot group list. He's done. This replaces the props. All right, easy done. And then we'll just have the IDs in here. That will be just name. That will be ID. And it's just as simple as that. Exporting everything from the store. Yeah, this is great. We no longer need that. I want to do that up there. So we should have some. There's the administration now, and that's in our store. Our next sort of task is to add these groups in, and they'll be added in optimistically. So I'll handle the fetch quest at the same time, but what will happen is when we click on this, it'll just suddenly appear in here. So with the add group, we've got add group on here at change. We just scroll up to the add group, and what we want to do is this is where I'm just wondering where I would filter this information from. Now the thing is, I think this gets recalculated every single time, and that's going to be a number. All right, so if we're going to do that, if new group model dot value equals null, or new group model dot value equals undefined, nothing to do, we just return. We're happy. That's easy. Down here, we're just going to go pass int now. That's actually going to that's complaining that that's already a number. It's like, I'm a number. Like so. So we should, now that will be the smaller data set. Now I'm assuming that this is cached. That way, if I contact it, it's like, I already got the data. I don't need to filter down and again. If that assumption is incorrect, which it could be, we just change this to all groups. And that's all. So what we need in here is const. I'm going to put new group equals this. All right, cool. If new group dot length equals 0, nothing to do. We just return. We don't care. All right. This is an escape condition. All right. So now we need to add group to the groups list. This will be object store dot group list dot push, and we just push in the new group, and it's as simple as that. Should be that. Group list should also be a group interface. All right, hold your horses. Why? It's not undefined. Thank you very much. However, we can always check. Oh, fuck off. It's right there. All right. Hey, Scotty B, how are you? The triple equals is a JavaScript thing. Because it's just easier to show in JavaScript land. Let me just bump over to here. Let's just delete this. Let's go var A equals 1, var B equals 1. Now, if we go A equals B, that's true. But if we go A equals B, that is false. And that's because it's also double checking to see that that's actually a string. It's meant to help add that extra clarity. It's a strict. It's very strict. That's it. Yeah, it's just a strict operator. All right. So what I've got to do. Oh, Socks, you okay? You okay? You okay? I'm just going to go const new group item. We're going to go group interface equals new group, and then we're just going to pass through a 0. And it's going to complain about that being but what? All right, let's try this a different way. Oh, come off a Jeb. How? Type. Is that all I gotta do? You're kidding. Oh my god. That's annoying to me. Alright, so add the group to lit optimistically. Then what we gotta do, wipe, hit clean on the next tick. This is just going to go group model dot value equals null. So that will null it out. We're accepting a null for that. That's perfectly fine. That will null that out and then send to the backend. And this is where we're going to do the fetch. So it is Rust equals more or less. Yeah. Oh, any sort of strongly typed language. All right, we're just gonna do that. What we want is we want the fetch, but I am just going to copy what we've done elsewhere, just because it's going to be a lot easier and quicker for me to do. All right, we're just going to paste that into there. We'll need to go async for this because we're doing this asyncly. This in theory, this should, yeah, we'll just wait for that. That's fine. All right, so in this sort of case, object destination, this will be groups. So we're actually hitting the groups. In this sort of case, we're gonna go post. We are getting the thing because we're posting to it. We need the JSON data in there. So I'm just having a think what would be the best way. So we are posting to groups. We also get to groups. And that's it. That's all we need. All right, cool. So we should have const data to send, or body, I should say, equals. And this will be group. And this also depends how I want to actually add stuff in. In this sort of case, we're going to go, we're only going to ever add one group in at a time. That being said, I can open it up in the future to enable a bulk add-in, which we're doing anyway. So in other places, so we'll go group list. And we really just need the ID. That's it. I think, if Mary serves me correctly, that's it. We put this in a try, we then fetch, we get all the data, and then we don't do anything afterwards. Like, because we're optimistically added stuff in, it doesn't matter what that comes back. We know what the group's going to be. We've got that group data anyway. We just slap it in there. We just need to handle any errors that are actually happening, which we will get. Alright, I'm fat fingering like there's no tomorrow. I'm just going to do that very, very quickly. Easy done. I know what the error is going to be. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to hit reload. Ignore the yellow text. We're going to fix that in a minute. That's for the other areas of this. That's fine. We can deal with it. So I'm going to quickly add in no group. We're going to have an error pop up straight away. Pin like 404 not found. That's because we haven't keyed in the backend to handle that just yet. But that's not a problem. What's awesome is we now get to see both of those in there. And look at that. Boom. Straight away. Boom. All right. I'm happy with that. And now there's no data in there. So this is going to be one of the things I'm going to have to actually disable that when there's no data in there. So what we want to do is we want to go into add object. We then want the select to be disabled when there is no data. So up here we need to pass through computed. This is where we go props.options. Yep. So when it equals 0, we're disabling this. Easy done. So if I go back over here, not quite yet. All right, I'm just going to hit refresh. You know why? Because I haven't added it to the frickin' thing. Sometimes my stupidity has no bounds. Disabled equals is disabled. Alright, that's gotta be a boolean. There we go. And there we go. It's now disabled. But I've got red text. And what I'm going to do, going to do that. I want to see what's going wrong. I'm going to hit refresh. Can't access property links. Prop options is undefined. Piss off. It's right there, you bastard. I'm just going to do that. Undefined. All right. Just going to do that. All right, that way it should cover both bases. Just going to hit refresh. I'm just going to go down here. I'm just going to add stuff in. Yeah, that's fine. That red text. Yeah, that's fine. Boom. All right, cool. Easy done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable that label also. So we are going to go down here. Going to add something in like this. Disabled. Oh, we can't. Oh yeah, labels can't be sort of just that. Yeah, they can't be. All right, not a problem. Doesn't mean someone can double click on that thing and select it, but that's fine. Who cares? That's just a minor thing. All right, cool. So what I've got to do now is I've got to implement the delete sort of stuff to get that to work. I've got to think where I want to actually handle that logic. So at the moment, I can probably get rid of that user list now. So the remove group is here. It's done. We've been hitting it for a while. I'll also remove that one there. Just group access. Sorry, I've got to label these. Got to put them out around the right way. So we've got to remove group in here, in which case we can do stuff up here. Now, this is where I'm once again heavily thinking about this. We have an object in here. So we've got the group list. I'm going to say, let's modify the user list too. Let's use this to its strengths. At the moment, there's no users added to this. That's perfectly fine. We can add that at a later time. If I actually go to project 1 and this loads in. So if I click on this and I go to the objects down here, we don't have any users added here either. Now that might be because of a backend thing, or I just haven't added the users to this. I can go to project 2 to confirm. Project 2, no user list. All right, so most likely I haven't added anyone, or it's not working from the back end. It's going to be... Sorry, I'm just trying to think. So what actually happens is if you remove a group or add a group, that can actually change the user list. Actually, add won't change the user list. It'll change the potential users that can be added. But that's neither here nor there. So I definitely need a user list. So if someone removes a group, we'll actually get data from the backend being like, all right, cool. These are now the new assigned users. All these other users have been removed because they were with that group that you've just deleted and so forth like that. All right, I am just going to, sorry, I've got to move on to the next song just because YouTube's flagging that it thinks that is the audio belongs to someone else. All right, where was I? So yes, if, for example, Bob is in team member group, whatever, and we delete team member, and that's the only group he belongs in, there's no cross-sharing and stuff like that, we'll need to remove that user, so we'll need to update this list. This is why we've decided to put the store up here. Now, I'm also starting to think that this object should have a potential user list in here. That we don't necessarily get from the API. It'll be another sort of endpoint that we sort of hit. Hey Zox, you're like, stretching out. Yeah, sure. I'm back here to say that. So it won't be in this. So if I refresh this, now we've got the group list in here. This is sort of required. We also need the user list in here. That is also required. The potential user list, not necessary. That could be another hidden call. Which I think would be the sort of best solution for this. Now, the great news is a lot of this code for the backend stuff, I'm just going to copy and paste into the services and it will handle it perfectly fine because it's designed for that. But I'm trying to think, because we're now moving everything to API calls and stuff like that, where would that API call go? Where will we store that data so I can not only access that data, but mutate that data when needed? And so far, we could store it against the object. That does make sense. Have in here potential user list. We just keep it updated. When we load in this data, it just does another call. It's not likely that the user is going to jump into here and suddenly click on the assigned user drop down. So we can give it a couple of seconds to get that data. And later on, we can have a look at it and see if we need to actually put a status or a state on that particular thing. But I think it'll be a pretty quick call. Unless you got really shocking internet and stuff like that. This takes fractions of a second. So if we reload, this is done. This is loaded well under a second and stuff like that. And that's fetching already initial data to, get this data, then fetching the project data. It's then fetching the link list, which is information on the current page, and then it's fetching the potential object links. Yeah. It's quick. It's what I'm trying to get at. And these are small packages too. All right, so I've just got group access open. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we've got the user list. We don't have any types for the user list at the moment, but that's perfectly fine. What I want to do is we're going to do this. So potential user list, that's where the potential users will live. We'll get that information and update it constantly and so forth like that. So if someone adds something, we'll remove something from here and so forth like that. Are you okay, Socks? She's saying, I'm going to cause some trouble. No, please don't cause trouble. We're almost finished stream, sweetie. Okay, so I am slowing down a little bit. Alright. So group access will handle group access sort of stuff. Oh, be careful, sweetie. That's my mouse. So add group. So down here, there'll be a to-do, update the potential user list. All right, so that's going to happen. When you add in a group, you have the ability to add in more, potentially add in more users and so forth like that. So we'll add that into here. And then with the remove group, we have to update both the user list and so forth like that. So I'm going to say we won't emit that data up anymore. We can actually handle all of that logic in here. So the remove group, no longer emitting stuff up. So if we go into the access sort of stuff, we can get rid of that. That becomes its own component. We'll handle these in a second. We'll remove that. That's going to disappear. I will fix up the assigned users in a second. I just want to clean up some stuff. So then this becomes a really small component, which is great. Assigned users. User list doesn't actually happen anymore. That will still happen. We're no longer emitting. Remove user. We'll also have add user. Like so, add code. We'll also have define stores. Const object store equals use object store. Don't think we'll need the meta stuff just yet, but that's perfectly fine. And then down here, it'll be object store dot user underscore list. Like so that then will be ID. That will be the name. We'll get the correct details in a bit for this. For the moment, I'm not worried. And then add object. I'm just copying from here. Just because it's going to be 10 times easier. So the label will be users. Name, ID, that's it. These IDs and stuff like that, we don't know if they exist. I'm just double checking. No. All right, cool. We just got the yellow text. That's perfectly fine. The last one would be the stakeholders. We just need to fix that up. But that will happen a little bit later. So what I can actually do, just because the yellow text is going to drive me nuts. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to see what this is because the yellow text is going to drive me nuts. File corruption. Yeah, probably file corrupted. Give me 2 seconds. That should be everything.css. Oh my god, just fucking... Those should be woof 2s. They should be a lot smaller now, the fonts. Aha! This should be woof 2. That should be woof 2. Yeah, I've made a couple of font differences. Should go back here and go woof 2. The idea is I really wanted to shrink everything. So that's looking fine. That should be fine. That should be fine. That should be like that. Yeah, it should be like that. That should be like that. Alright, so that's like that. That's like that. That's the compiled version. That's like that. That's like that. That's like that. Alright. I'm hoping for the best now. Ah, boo. I probably just got a corrupted file. That's it. Probably just corrupted text file. I'm going to have a look at that later. Alright, I'm not worried about it now. Yeah, probably that one file that's just bad. None of the other fonts are suffering. If I go all... Oof, 8 megabytes. However, that's it. Not compressed or anything like that. If I have a look at the fonts, they're a lot smaller now. So, yeah. Save some data, which I we'll say is good. Still a lot. It's still 170 kilobytes. Would be great if not, but oh well. Where was I going? All right. So I've absolutely lost the plot. So we got rid of most of the yellow text issues. Great. So now we can add the groups. The users we can't add in anything at the moment. That's perfectly fine because there's no users or anything like that. Oh yeah, we were setting up the... so when we've got add groups, we add that in. We've got to deal with the users. The store... I'm probably going to finish up very, very shortly. So in the object itself, we've got the potential users list. We need to get the users. We need to actually get an interface for the users and so forth like that. From there, what we could do is fix up all of those. That should be pretty quick to do. And then the stakeholders will actually work very similar too. Because we should, in this here, in this object, actually have the organization, which we do. Sorry. We do actually have the organization, which is great. I just need to render that out correctly. But we don't have customers. And this is one thing which I'm like, does that need to be in the API? I mean, that is somewhat useful information in the API. So if the user wants to actually see that data, it can just appear. Instead of doing a secondary call. But I think I pushed it away, being like, no, we can do it as subsequent calls. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, we can just do it in one call. That should be fine. Sorry, I'm just thinking, plotting. You know how it is. All right. So let's get at least the user stuff through. So I'm going to open up the project API again. We're just going to shove that all the way over here. So in here, we've got the retrieve. We're all happy and dandy with this. We've got the project serializer. Now, we don't have users with this one. We do have a user list. All right. Many equals true, read only equals true, required equals false. Easy done. With the user serializers, got profile picture, and got profile picture path. That's the data we're dealing with. All right, cool. I'm just gonna place that, put that over there. That's just for reference. Now I'm assuming that that's perfectly fine doing it like that. Yeah, we've got the user list there. So in the project API sort of stuff, we've got the user list. Cool. Just looks like we just didn't have a place to put it. So if I hit refresh on the API, all right, it looks like we probably don't have anything assigned to this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open up data grip. I'm going to ignore all of that. I'm just going to go select everything from, oops, sorry, I've been NearBeach, object, assignment. We're just going to grab everything. And what I want is where and user, assigned user ID is null. But we're going to put a, oops, a not at the front. So not that, all right. And then we're going to go and project ID equals, I'm going to say, what number do I have up? Let's go to 1. So we should actually be getting someone through with this, according to this SQL query. Very basic query. Let's have a look in here. All right, so user, so assignment ID is null equals false. Yep. And then the values, assigned user, yep. Or that might actually have to be ID. I have a feeling that's, nah, still nothing. All right. Once again, we're just going to go temp equals, and we're just going to paste that in. I'm going to format this, and we're going to put a breakpoint over here and go, all right, cool. So here we are with the temp. We've got the assignment user ID 1. Now this says username up here, and this is one of those weird things where it might not be username, it might be that. And there we go. That was it. That was... So we've now fixed that. So this user list will have the ID and all that kind of stuff. Great. So if we go back to this, I'm just going to hit refresh because we need all that data. Actually, we need to go number 1. Not 17, number 1. Yeah, bastard. We need to go to the pinnate. We need to go to the object. We don't have anything in the user list at the moment, but if we go and look at the XHR, oh, it's because we've got a breakpoint on. There's our user list. All right, cool. Yeah, we haven't updated our user list, so not a problem. What we've got to do is, when the project loads up, we need to set that data to. And what do I want to do? I forgot where I'm calling this. All right. All right, object store. Sorry, I've now got to find where I'm sending these data. I think this will be the last thing I do tonight because I am exhausted. I've just got to stop. I'm sorry, guys. I've got an idea. Socks, you're on stream. Oh, that's a patch. Not what I wanted. It'll be that one. That's the patch. No, we want the get. That's the patch. That's the patch. Ah, damn. All right. It might be under the project one, project page. Unmounted, update object status. Not that. Alright, I'm just gonna close all tabs. That's the problem. The status to status destination as yep, that just comes through as the project. So that sets the status as that. And then I haven't done something weird, have I? Reset object, yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. Alright, so project page, general detail. That's update data. We don't want that. Unmounted, we reset, const ID, destination, yep. Type of ID, yep, we go to, yep, alright, cool, handle, yep. And then we fetch, this is what we want. Structure the data type, yep. So data.destination is that dot object store dot patch and then data. Meaning if I refresh object store. Oh, useless. There it is. All right. All right. I am absolutely and utterly exhausted at the moment. You can probably tell. I'm going to call it here. Sorry, I'm just... Alright. Swabby. Sorry, that took way too long for me to actually decide. Shows you how tired I am. We're going to raid Swabby Games Live. So currently, I think this is one of his. Yeah, he's doing Godot and learning multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's wait, don't do off it for sure. Let's unmute. And let's raid. And for those on YouTube, sadly you won't be able to join us with the raid, but thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It actually does help. I should do this because we put socks into it. Anyway, thank you.